After 2 non-stop days in Shanghai, a late evening flight brings Dietrich and his team 700 miles to the north and to China's capital and cultural center, Beijing. Within just hours of their arrival, the team meets with physicians at Chaoyang Hospital. It will be from here that Dietrich and Strumpf will perform numerous cases that will be telecast live to the assembly at China's largest medical meeting, the Great Wall Cardiology Conference. Tonight, he is presented with 2 other forms of cardiovascular disease that are all too familiar in the United States and becoming more and more so in China: stroke and hypertension.
A good example of that is the carotid artery, because they have a very, I think the #1 mortality in China at the present time is stroke, and about 75% of that could be related to the artery here in the neck. Hypertension, they definitely had hypertension, high salt intake. If you look at the dietary patterns, they've changed dramatically. Just get in a taxi cab and drive down Beijing, and I mean, you don't just see Chinese rice. You see Kentucky Fried Chicken here, and you see McDonald's over there. And I hate to say this, but we traffic some of those places ourselves. Chinese noodles. Everything that we've learned about the disease patterns in Western civilization have now, unfortunately, occurred in our visit to China.
The first speaker of this session is Dr. Dietrich.
On early Wednesday morning, Dietrich gets his first look at the meeting he's been invited to co-chair with Dr. Hu Daiyi of Beijing.
I sort of thought probably it was going to be in a hotel and in a small room in the hotel. My impression was entirely wrong. It was a huge meeting. The hotel itself was pretty much dedicated to the Great Wall of China. The auditorium was absolutely packed. I don't know, there must have been 2,000 at least, and always filled throughout the whole time. Exhibits around the periphery. It was a major kind of, as major as in the United States of anything that we do, which was a surprise to me because I did not know they had this absolute, almost unexercised energy level for learning. And it was at every level, whether it was one-on-one or in this auditorium, packed. They have a tremendous desire to learn, and they're very, very bright. They're very intelligent, and in our field of cardiovascular, they will have a major impact in the future, without any question.
After a day of lectures in the main ballroom, Dietrich will spend the next 2 days performing satellite case demonstrations from Chaoyang Hospital.
But in this particular case, for the demonstration, we did want to put a catheter above the renal arteries, so we
Of the 4 live cases to be performed, the final case at the meeting on Friday has the congregation especially primed. The patient presents suffering from hypertension or high blood pressure due to a blockage in his renal artery, which leads to the kidneys. Dietrich's strategy is to thread a stent into the blockage and implant the device to open up blood flow to this vital organ.
Okay, blue up, please.
Okay. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10.
It's good?
Beautiful. Yeah. Beautiful. Okay? Okay. Everybody happy?
Yeah. Very good.
Thank you very much. Very good, huh? Congratulations.
The team celebrates, mindful that this patient will be discharged tomorrow, free of the multitude of drugs required to stabilize his high blood pressure.
This is very safe. Very safe. Okay, everybody happy?
Yeah. Very good.
After nearly 6 days of nonstop work, Dietrich and his team are rewarded with their first opportunity to play the part of American tourist.
Fantastic. It is hard for my mind to take it all in. A lot of history, a lot of people, a lot of work. We're climbing up too.
It's a hazy morning as residents of the Grand Canyon State, the site of the greatest natural wonder of the world, arrive to gaze upon the greatest man-made wonder of the world. As Dietrich rides the gondola for an elevated view, he reflects on a nation and a healthcare system that he clearly initially misread.
At our time, and when you see this whole area being liberalized, the changes in the culture and social, and the whole philosophic changes that are occurring, I would anticipate that this would be a powerhouse in medicine in the future. I wanted to say to all of you how much we appreciated being here. The hospitality was wonderful, and the expertise of your team was wonderful. And we invite you, whenever you can, to come to Phoenix, Arizona. Thank you very much.
It was time for farewells to a nation on the rise, a healthcare system on the fast track, and a people who shine both in passion and graciousness. Tomorrow, the Arizona team will return home, back from an inspiring land that will forever shape their beliefs and influence their approach to practicing medicine. Beneficiaries of an invaluable and enthralling journey in the heart of China.